I really don't like making videos like this, and I've only ever made one other video like this before, and that video is currently set to private because I don't like being negative on my channel. I haven't really made any videos in a while, obviously, but when I do, I like to have fun and make stuff that'll hopefully give someone a laugh or at least give someone a greater appreciation for something that I love. Plus, in ranting like this on my channel, I realize it's extremely unlikely that my words will actually reach the people they're intended for, and even if they did, it's even less likely that those words will actually cause any sort of significant change anyway. But every so often, something happens in the entertainment industry that just really gets under my skin, and in rare cases like this one, even if making a video ends up just being me screaming into the void, I just feel the need to spill my thoughts and get it out there because I'm someone who's been trying to get into the entertainment industry for a really long time, and seeing talented artists and creators that are already in the industry being screwed over by higher-ups that have no respect for what they do just really pisses me off. In case I sound like an insane person right now, I'm talking about the recent decisions Warner Bros. Discovery has been making in the wake of their newly instated corporate merger. As part of this new merger, David Zaslav has been appointed CEO of the larger conglomerate, and while not all of these decisions are statements that have come directly from him, there's no doubt that he and the rest of the new leadership at the company have played a pretty massive role in the shift that's been going on there recently. Essentially, as they'd like to put it, as part of a proposed shift in the company's direction after the merger, various projects both in and out of active development are being reconsidered in terms of how they fit into the company's brand image as a whole. In other words, an insane amount of projects under the company umbrella are dropping like flies as corporate decides for whatever reason they can come up with that they're not worth finishing or even keeping around on their platforms any longer. We first learned about this when they announced that a handful of projects that they had already sunk massive amounts of money and man hours into that were very close to completion were scrapped entirely. They claim it's because they don't fit into their current vision for the company or they didn't believe they were up to the company's quality standards, but it's far more likely that they just didn't believe in them and would rather use them as a tax write-off instead of actually releasing them. These included Scoob Holiday Haunt, which had just recently finished being animated, and the Batgirl movie, and I'm sure many of you have already seen a lot of the disconcerting stuff related to that situation, including the fact that they gave the fact that it didn't test well with audiences as an excuse for not releasing it, but Black Adam had pretty much the exact same test audience scores, and they're still releasing that movie, so. Now, it goes without saying that Warner Bros. Canceling these projects so close to completion is a pretty fucked up situation. I can't even imagine how awful it must feel for anyone involved with these movies and shows to have poured years of their lives into their work, only for new management to swoop in and axe the whole thing when they were right at the finish line. But what's even more fucked up is that on the other end of the spectrum, you've got the Flash movie, which pretty much no one wants, with a main character played by someone who's been extremely problematic and straight up dangerous. But somehow that movie is safe. These other nearly finished movies that everyone is begging you to release and that had no media shitstorm surrounding them, those are getting thrown in the trash. But the one helmed by someone that's been committing insane amounts of crazy, violent, and illegal acts left and right, their movie gets to stick around, and everyone else's work on the movie is tarnished forever because Ezra Miller isn't being recast, and the movie apparently isn't being reworked in any way. And it doesn't even end there either. On top of drastically scaling back content made for their extremely successful streaming service, Warner Bros. Discovery is also currently in the process of removing dozens of shows from HBO Max's catalog, many of which are completely exclusive to HBO Max, including critically acclaimed shows like Summer Camp Island and Infinity Train. Not only this, but they're also in the process of removing any mention of some of these shows on social media and YouTube, as if they want to act like they never even existed. Once again, not only did hundreds of talented people work extremely hard on all of these shows, and not only do many of them have dedicated fan bases that were begging for more from them, but these shows were already done and released. They were literally doing nothing but sitting there, giving HBO Max subscribers more options and giving Warner Bros. Discovery an opportunity to make more money off of them. And by this point, audiences and creators alike have already been invested in all of these shows for years. Now, I'm not a business savvy person, but it seems like common sense to me that if you're a multi-million-dollar entertainment company and you've got a library full of entertainment that your audience is enjoying, the logical thing to do is support the people making that entertainment and give the audience more of what they like. And at the very least, If you're not interested in continuing a series, there's absolutely no harm in keeping what you've already produced available on your platform. You don't have to sink any more money into it, and audiences can still watch and enjoy it exclusively through you. But by culling the catalog this way, Warner Bros. Discovery is not only showing a complete lack of respect or care for the work their creators have put into their content, but they're also essentially trying to erase these shows from existence entirely for no reason. Even completely disregarding how scummy that is and how scary setting that precedent in the industry is. It makes absolutely no sense from a business perspective. By not giving your fans any options to pay you to watch these shows legally, both new and old fans alike have pretty much no choice but to pirate them. This drastically reduces all of these shows' potential audiences and is a heartbreaking situation for anyone who worked on them. But people that are determined to watch these shows will find a way to watch them, and Warner Bros. Discovery will lose potential earnings from their own products as a result. With all of that in mind, I seriously can't wrap my head around what Warner Bros. Discovery expects to gain by making decisions like this. And in the wake of all of these shows and movies disappearing after no one involved did anything to deserve their work being erased, it's even more insulting that their most problematic project is the one that they're still desperately trying to find a way to release without taking it back to the drawing board. Now, as I was writing this video, Ezra Miller did actually release a statement to Variety that they're seeking help for their mental health issues, but at this point, if you're a studio looking to promote your movie, all of the very public stuff Ezra Miller has done makes this sentiment far too late to actually salvage their public perception in any meaningful way. And after we learned about Warner Bros.' 3 proposed strategies for saving the movie, I can't help but personally feel like this apology would not have happened if Warner Bros. Didn't force it to happen. Could I be wrong about some of this stuff? Absolutely. Maybe they are making efforts to rework Flash behind the scenes and we just don't know about it yet. Maybe these shows that are being pulled will return to HBO Max eventually and they're only being pulled to create some kind of artificial demand or some shit. Maybe they'll even be marketed as new shows when HBO Max and Discovery Plus merge into the biggest fucking headache of a streaming service I've ever seen. Doesn't matter. What the fuck ever. The fact remains that countless artists working under the Warner Bros. Umbrella are having their hard work completely disregarded and are being blatantly disrespected by ignorant leadership that couldn't care less about the artistic value of their own products in the wake of misguided corporate reorganizing. The people behind these shows and movies are finding out through social media that the projects they've been working on for years are completely disappearing. And if Warner Bros. Doesn't have a plan for reintegrating or reworking any of these things, they at the very least have a responsibility to be transparent about what they're doing and why with the people working their asses off to give them content to promote in the first place, if not their entire paying audience as well. It's such a hard situation because I want to support the artists behind Warner Bros. Movies and shows. There are some beautiful pieces of art that have come out of Warner Bros. Subsidiaries in recent years thanks to hundreds upon hundreds of hardworking and talented people. And at this point, if they are lucky enough to have their work released, I want to support them because they deserve our support. But when the company in control of it all has shown time and again that they couldn't care less about the massive amount of work their employees do, canceling and erasing project after project, while also constantly shoving down our throats how much IP they own and how many beloved franchises they're free to manipulate to no end, the little devil on my shoulder can't help but hope that the whole thing just burns to the ground, and everything that was once locked in their grip rises from the ashes in a blaze of glory to live on in the hands of people that actually give a shit.